Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads on a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about. So we are here to do it for you. I'm one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside Court, the Ram Milan.
Really? I felt.
So did you call him the Ram Milan?
You know, I hate Family Guy, but you remember when there was one where he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like,
hold on.
Tier Griffin.
You hate Family Guy?
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
I spend a lot of time in Rhode Island. It's not like that.
I don't care. It's a cartoon. It has nothing to do with what it's
Actually, it's not canon.
It's a canon event.
But Court, we were talking about Court's new dedicated Wham.
Yes, I upgraded the RAM on my PC and I upgraded the SSD.
Oh, if Court was a game, he would be Cult of the Ram.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Stupid.
I know it was.
We're also here with the Cult of the Ram, Pez.
Good day, mates. What's the crack?
Ram.
Yeah,
I don't know what any of that stuff means, though.
That's his streamer friends when they're like the crack is 9 and they all have like this thing.
I'm sorry you all hate the Irish so much. You don't
It's
embrace
an
their
Irish
culture.
thing. It's not.
Do you mean crack or ram? What, Wabba? What don't you know?
Crack a ram?
Yeah, crack or ram. Well, you saying you didn't know.
I don't know anything about that country except one person, and maybe Conor McGregor.
What about Roy McIlroy?
Oh yeah, him too.
Pierce Brosnan.
He's Irish?
Yes. So if you go to the as someone who's been to the Dublin airport, if
Dublin.
So when you go through the terminal, it's just pictures of people like Sean Connery and everybody just up on walls. That's all it is.
It's just Sean Connery.
It's one person.
The same picture over and over.
Different people like Bono, like all these different
Bono. I thought he was Australian.
Bono.
Why do I don't need to go to Ireland. I can just go to Boston and I can see, all the fine Irish folk.
You can see
city.
all of us beautiful ginger
puking on their shoes.
Yeah.
Puking on their shoes.
Us ginger beard boys.
So
that almost just happened.
I told Court he also got a new chair.
It almost just happened.
Court's going over, and I hope it's live somewhere. So for the content.
Yeah, if you're gonna go down like Frasier, you gotta do it on screen, or else it hasn't happened.
It's got a headrest too.
I told him
it's very comfortable.
It's gonna happen once. He's gonna go over, and that's it. Everybody falls out of their chair once doing this thing, and then they adjust it. But yeah, I think Exhibit visited his house, pimped his room. Got a new poster, new chair, new computer, new Wham.
I'll be honest. I had I've been editing. I've been learning how to edit, and I learned that RAM in your computer matters. So I had only 16 gigabytes, and when I was trying to take videos from YouTube and such, the quality looked terrible coming over, and that's because my computer was compressing it and the RAM. So I wasn't able to take what the images to come through OBS, didn't record properly. Plus, I didn't have it. I only had 500 gigabytes of memory, which wasn't enough. So I've got to an SSD. So now I can at least, and it's faster. Everything runs better. I even played Ratchet and Clank. It was running better. Everything's better. But I was also complaining about my back a lot, not just because of the kidney stones, or as I like to call it, the infinity stones. So I got a new chair, and it's an ergonomic chair, and it's so much better, like instantly better. Even sitting on it, hi Queen. Even sitting on it, it's so much better. Gaming chairs suck.
They're so bad.
Gaming chairs are terrible.
It's the biggest. I'm sorry if any of them want to sponsor us. I'm sorry, we're not a good fit.
Yeah, sorry.
They are all bad.
Chairs are scams.
The pneumatic whatever just craps out. The armrests shave off, and the bottom, the seat, it's hard. It's like sitting on wood.
Yeah.
And then they give you that pillow for your back that gives you an S curve. It's too much, and people like it because it's got the little wings on top. But okay, yeah, that's cool. But that's it.
No, it's not. Look,
get yourself.
I got these. I got a handle.
A actual office chair is the play.
That's
It
what
is the same price, if not cheaper. It will last longer, and it's just better for your body. I actually remember I used to have when I used to stream on the couch upstairs with my laptop, leaning over into my Snowball Yeti mic because it like really screwed me up. And then when I came down here, that's when it all made sense. And then you get an actual real chair.
I would
It
love
makes
to
such a
see, like,
difference.
the first Waba stream.
I have clips. It was weird.
Oh.
It's got to be 2003 LimeWire-esque.
He's like, "Hey
video.
guys, what's going on?
I
Anyone
started
play
streaming in
NHL?
2017. I wasn't this. This wasn't like the 90s.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hearthstone guys, what's going on?"
Okay, I was playing Hearthstone before I hopped on. I lost. Actually, I came in fourth, +1. Get wrecked.
But
He
yes,
was a
I
NHL
this chair-
15 streamer.
this
That's
this
right.
chair is a huge upgrade. It's from a company called Branch out here in Canada.
Ooh, Canada.
It is nice. It's so
exotic.
comfy. Like the Waba, it was interesting when I was complaining about this chair off air a couple weeks ago in my other chair, and you were like, "It's like you're sitting on wood," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I couldn't get it out of my mind. I'm like, "Yes, I am." This one here, it's like I'm sitting on a fluffy pillow, and like
Beautiful.
my back, it's the chair actually touches my back, and I actually have a thing for my lumbar support that's on the back of it, the chair,
Hmm.
not on the front. So where the lumbar support should be, I can extend the armrest so it's more comfortable. I can extend the chair. I can lean back. That's the other thing about gaming chairs. There's no give. You're just stuck in a position
Yeah.
at all times, and it's pretty much leaning forward.
I love the ones that give you the footrest that you can extend out that will snap. They're like, "Oh yeah, you can lie down in this chair." Like,
Why would I wanna
that's
do
not.
that?
But that's not how the body works. Like, it's gonna fall. Like those things aren't they don't. They need like a gyroscope so you don't fall. Like they're not that.
They're made for dorks that think racing chairs are super neat.
I got
Because
one
that's what
I
they look
didn't
like.
know any better. I'll be totally honest. I got one because I didn't know any better, and then I learned after 2 years of having it that it's the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had, and I got an ergonomic chair. I got an
Hmm.
office chair. It's ergonomic. It is unbelievably comfy. It's got a mesh back here,
Mm-hmm.
so it's breathable, and I won't be all sweaty.
That too. That's a huge
Yeah.
point.
Yep. Yep.
I did hear Herman Miller, which is like the Cadillac of
Yes.
chairs.
This
They
one
are
bends.
actually
This
coming out
does
with
bend.
gaming chairs, but those are going to be not. They're not really gaming chairs.
Yeah,
if
it's not
I-
like X Tech or whatever these dorks sitting now.
If I won the
Xtech is
lottery,
theater.
and I could buy any chair, I'd buy a Herman Miller chair. Wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah.
The
No,
one with
they're
the
legit.
spine, it moves and all that kind of stuff. This one moves. So this moves to my back. If I move my back, it moves from side to side in the back there. It's nice.
Mine doesn't. But still, I was told as a large man, I was told by another large man, buy a chair that is made for you to sit in for 8 to 10 hours, like a normal office chair.
So
I was like,
office chairs.
So get a beanbag.
You're right.
No, office chairs. Like for the 100%.
Get a love
now
sack.
that office chairs are the way to go.
Dude, love
never getting
sacks
a
are
gaming
pretty
chair
great.
again.
We got a love set couch. It's the best thing.
I had
Plus, you notice with gaming chairs, they feel like they're 50 pounds. Like they feel so heavy
Yeah.
for no reason.
It's because of all the wood inside of it. It's like IKEA. It has a shredded particle board.
it's all the DLC stuffed inside of it, all the microtransactions.
Did EA make them?
Oh God, don't say that.
No, it was Blizzard.
Blizzard. Oh, Diablo. Jesus, that game died so quick, eh?
Oh my god.
That had the quickest death I've ever seen of a game. I have the seasons pass, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never playing that game again.
Oh, you want to know why? Because it was boring. It was boring. It was made for you to like get to level 40 with your character and get to level 60 with your like skills. But then after that, there's nothing. So they just said, hey, here's a neat idea. Let's make you do another character and play pretty much the same game. And the nerds are playing it, but everyone else was like, no thanks. We're going to go do something else.
I feel like the game wasn't ready. Like the game wasn't finished.
Oh, Blizzard putting out an unfinished game? Well, by God, I never heard such a ridiculous thing.
Not
in
in
my
this
life.
economy.
Not in this economy. Meanwhile, Overwatch 2 is like, hey, we're not going to do PvE, but if you give us $15, we'll give you PvE.
Dude, forget
Thank
that.
you.
I can't. I'm so over Overwatch 2. There's a reason they call it Overwatch 2. It's because their fan base is over it. Again.
I'm never gonna stop ripping against Bungie and Blizzard. I'm just not gonna stop.
I'm still got to play Destiny 2. I like it. I'm sorry, but I also haven't played any of it, so
You don't-
all brand new.
Don't be
And,
sorry.
Hey, you get the Witch Queen now for free with PlayStation Plus.
Which
Okay.
queen? Witchcraft.
cream?
From what I
Witchcraft?
played of Destiny 2, the game was good, but I get it. The people that have don't know how to play. It's like me right now with the Division. I feel like there's nothing content to do. I did it all. I'm just like, okay. And I
I
get
mean,
it. Like
I
they
don't
can't
want
just make
to
endless content.
I don't want to harp on it, but I just get irritated when, like, imagine if you bought Warlords of New York for the Division 2, and then they put out like the Gingerbeards of Boston as a second expansion, and we're like, you know what, we're taking Warlords of New York away, because that's basically what Destiny 2 was doing. Like, oh, Witch Queen's coming out, but due to space, we have to get rid of I think it was like Shadowlands or some stupid one like that. So that's what annoys me the most. Someone paid 20, 25 bucks for these expansions, and then they're gone because Destiny is running on an engine that is probably older than a 1901 Ford One, right? So it's just like ridiculous.
I do want to play the Gingerbeards of Boston though.
That
Oh
sounds like
man,
a great game.
what a
Like those
banger!
enemies, like they're just huge, like sweet tooth looking dudes from like I can't believe so that Twisted Metal TV series is good.
Is it? I haven't
I
watched it yet.
Me neither.
As you would love it.
It's because my man Smo Joe's in there. Smo Joe.
Yeah, but it's got Will Arnett's voice. That's the worst part of the thing. 100% worst part of it. But if you like Deadpool and
Which
you
I do.
like that kind of poo-poo pee-pee humor,
Yep.
you will love the living daylights out of this. Plus, Pez, the soundtrack is all 90s.
Oh,
All 90s stuff. And like he gets in his
Let's go.
car and he's like opening up his old CD thing. He's going through like his
he's
6
got the
CDs
book.
and he's pulling them out. And he's so good. I
I'm in.
can't believe I was in shock how much I was just like, oh my God, I really like this show. I'm like, okay, I can't stop watching it. Like I went from thinking that was the worst TV show trailer I've ever seen. I don't care for it, to someone sending me a link for episode 1, to watching it going, oh my God, I need to watch more, to me becoming a pirate and watching the rest of it.
I love it. Peacock said it's like their most binged show.
Well, it's
Really?
not
Or
available
binge
here
new
There's
show
an
or
Office
something
over
like
there?
that.
So it's on Paramount Plus here in Canada. We don't have it yet.
Oh,
I can
okay.
double check. I didn't see it. I didn't think it was there yet because I want to watch it in the 4K. But
4K Dolby Atmos.
as I haven't been
Quartz
really playing
baby.
a lot of video games, I've been going to movies and such.
Weird.
I got to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, you did.
Do you like it?
Oh my God, it's so good. So I was talking about this with a friend of mine who came with me. We took our kids to it. And so when you rank all the Ninja Turtle movies, 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's going to be very hard to beat. Like, the Jim Henson.
Yep.
Do you know Jim Henson made the Turtles? I got to see that movie in the theater. It's got a lot for me. I literally have the poster. I'm looking at it right now. That to me is so good. They did such a good job of taking the comics and not making it so violent, but still at the same time making it so kids can enjoy it. Seth Rogen almost beat it. As much as people are not going to see it because they're spending all their money seeing Barbie or Oppenheimer, not saying those are bad movies, and just it is so good. Like Pez, you have to go take little Pez. Waba, you just got to go see it by yourself or go with Queen.
No, my
It
daughter
is-
wants to go. I've been hyping it up.
It is so. It is not. It is 100% for everybody here because I don't want to give anything away. It is 100% okay to take your kid. Maybe the very beginning of it is a little dark, but the animation style, there's no one gets hurt. It's a lot of 1980s cartoons where no one dies. Paul Rudd is such a good character in this, like unbelievably hilarious. I love the fact that the actors that portray the turtles are actually teenagers, and you can tell that they're teenagers. The origin story is a little different than what we remember, but I think they're going to talk about more in the second one. You have to stay. There is an end credit scene. It's just fun and it's not long. So for parents out there, it's tough for us to take kids to the movies, especially because if it's a long movie, like Pez is lucky, you can take a little Pez and she can sit through a Marvel movie, but those darn things are long. So Waba, you can take a little Waba, no problem. Only an hour and a half. That's it.
Love it.
Hour and a half on the dot. Boom, you're in and out.
Perfect.
That's all I'll say about it. The movie is fantastic. I had so much fun. My daughter says right now, between that and the new Spider-Man movie, she's saying that she loved Ninja Turtles more than and she loves like
Ooh.
Into the Spider-Verse and all that. She says she'd love Ninja Turtles way more.
Wow.
Also, the soundtrack is all 90s hip hop. It is phenomenal. Like they do Old Dirty Bastard, Wu-Tang, No Diggity by
Yes.
Blackstreet. So
Yes.
Yeah, when I
good.
heard a Tribe Called Quest in the Trail, I'm like, no
Yeah.
way.
So
Like,
Yes.
it is so, and they play there's a lot of Easter eggs to the original 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series and the comic. Seth Rogen, chef's kiss. Did such a good
Dang.
job with this. Like now, you know what I want? I want someone to do a Batman cartoon. I
like
want a
that
Batman
style.
cartoon. Yeah, I want a Batman cartoon because like it's not the same style of Spider-Man, but I want these cartoon movies of this stuff that we grew up with. I think this is a perfect way to do it. Like, forget this Michael Bay Transformers. Give me the cartoon Transformers.
Or the Michael Bay Turtles.
Oh, Michael Bay's terrible.
Or really
He
anything Michael
destroyed
Bay
our
does.
childhood. Michael Bay is terrible.
Give
He
me
takes everything
Batman
from our
Beyond.
childhood and poo-poos all over it. But
Give me a Batman Beyond cartoon movie.
Pez.
Give me that.
Oh, that would be so good.
I'll direct it.
So good. But it's fantastic. Go see it with your kids. And speaking more of kids as well, our friends over at Outright, we're Outright Ambassadors. If you would like, right now, well, actually, no, starting on the 11th, sorry, my apologies. On the 11th, all the games from Outright are going to be on sale in the Nintendo eShop and the PlayStation Store. So games like DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos is 30% off in the Nintendo eShop. Paw Patrol Mighty Pups, 40% off. My Little Pony, 50% off. My daughter loves that game. Like, honestly, loves that game. Jumanji the game, 50% off. Phenomenal game. Paw Patrol Grand Prix, 40% off. And then in the PlayStation Store, we have Paw Patrol, 40%. My Little Pony, again, 50%. Jumanji, 50%. And Paw Patrol Grand Prix, 40%. These games are phenomenal for kids, and they're at a great price. You know, we've got the holidays coming up soon. Technically, summer's almost over. Kids going to be going back to school. You
Yep.
know, the winter's going to be coming. These are the
Yep.
perfect little games to get your kids so that they can play when they get home. Plus, a lot of these games, like even Justice League, you can play that with your kids. And with both Xbox and now PlayStation doing and having that little second controller thing, you can actually play and go through the hard parts and such. But I wouldn't say that Justice League has any hard parts. It's really just a beat 'em up that you can play with your kid.
Mm.
So I'd highly recommend it. And also, their Discord is opening up. So if you, on the 11th of August, if you want to jump in and chat with us on a regular basis, there's going to be a section in the Outright Games Discord that's going to be available for anybody to jump in. So we'll put a code in the description down below. We'll put the link there. And if you want to join the Discord and chat with us about these awesome games from Outright, it's there for you.
And
You're
if I could
losing
give-
money not doing it.
If I could give a special plug, DC, what a great game. That
I know,
DC
it's
game
not-
is so good. And if you have a Steam Deck, my homies, reppin', it runs beautifully. So you can give little Timmy the Steam Deck and let him give little Timmy the Steam Deck as a little prize for doing well on his homework, and then let him go to town as Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. But great game.
Go get your Paw Patrols. They talked
New
about
movie
a new
coming
one
out.
coming.
New movie
New
coming
one.
out.
Yep, new Paw Patrol
So
movie coming out.
go play these, get hyped for it, and next thing you know, you get them hyped for the new Paw Patrol things.
And yes, we're Outright Ambassadors, but at the same time, my daughter loves these games. So any game that makes my daughter happy as a
Yeah.
parent is a win.
And we've been talking these games up pretty much since the podcast started.
Yes.
Like this is before we were ambassadors, before we were doing anything with them, before we were on their Twitter, before whatever. So it's a product. If we didn't believe in them and we didn't like what they do, we wouldn't be ambassadors. Because they're not giving us anything, right? They give us some games, we play some games, but like that's it. We're not getting paid. We're not doing any of that. We just genuinely think that they are a great developer and a great publisher, and they deserve all the success that they get because they put out good kid games that aren't insidious, like. And then I would name some, but I'm not gonna.
I was ready for you just to bring the thunder and go ban for
Nope.
ban with these other.
No. I mean,
companies.
I will. I've already given it to Blizzard, and I'll give it to give it a Bungie, and I have a little ESPN rant up my sleeve that I'm really aggravated
I'm
about.
excited about that.
Oh my god,
The rant, not the take.
It's silly, but it's irritating. But yeah, go get your Outright games. They're great.
You would be outright to do so.
Ooh.
This man, guys, it
that?
feels good to be back together. if I may say.
Yeah, the band, we're the Three Musketeers.
The band's back together.
See, I think Pez understood what I was doing there,
I
but
get
at
it.
Waba, I don't think Steve Martin,
No, I'm sorry.
Martin Short.
I know who they are. Like my you know, I hate this. My Steve Martin watching maybe started at like Cheaper by the Dozen, which is like so late into his
Dude,
career.
Father of the Bride?
Remember LA
Banger.
Story, Pez? When he like walks into the museum, he's like, Beethoven's balls.
Yep. Father of the Bride 2, even more briding.
To the street.
Yeah. Father of the Bride 2, the house, because they get
Dirty Rotten
divorced.
Scoundrels.
Just so good. Just so good.
So good.
Question, my
Uninitiated.
friends. From Chad, DJ Spencer in chat. Xbox controller too big for a 3-year-old? Question mark.
I would honestly say if you're going, Xbox controllers are way better for a kid than the PlayStation controllers, but there's an 8-bit dough controller that you can buy on Amazon that was like $15 Canadian for me that I was able to buy that was an
it's
Xbox
nothing.
controller that was a lot smaller. And so that was the first controller my daughter used. And then I passed it down to a buddy. So I would say that's when my daughter started playing video games when she was 3. I'd say you can go out and buy, Xbox makes them. There's these tiny, or 8-bit dough does for Xbox. There's tiny controllers. The PlayStation controllers, by far the largest. And I would honestly say that the Xbox controllers are easier to hold and they're smaller than the any other console.
They're lighter too. My daughter used a lot of the Switch one. I just compared them, like the Switch, like I don't know, what is this Pro controller? It's like the same size. It's obviously way lighter than the Xbox one, but I mean, my daughter
Xbox
usually
one's good.
my daughter gravitates towards the PS4 controller. She says, "Oh, it's my controller." She'll play and I'll
So my
play.
daughter has her own Design Lab controller. It says Princess on it.
Blessed. Yeah, it'd be nice if PlayStation, was a little customizable like that. Why would money on the table? Money on the table.
Agreed.
True.
Good question though. Also, props to you for getting them introduced at 3. I suggest Coco Melon by Outright.
Oh, that is a good game.
I'm
Coco
telling
Melon.
like, if for young kids, that and Outright's got some coming up that I think are going to be very.
Well, no, we're allowed to talk about it. They
different.
have Baby Shark coming out.
Baby Shark is going to be it. Baby Shark is going to be so good. It's going to be the intro rhythm game. Kids are going to get it. I think the difficulty is going to be so good. We haven't seen a lot of it, but also I found, you guys don't care, Baby Shark is voiced by the voice of Kif on Disney Plus. Kif is a very funny show, and I was like listening to like this mashup on like YouTube or whatever. I'm like, that's Kif. So it's going to be funny because that voice actress is so hilarious and over the top. And apparently the Baby Shark cartoon is. This isn't the Baby Shark proper. This is the extended cinematic universe of Baby Shark cartoon, which is actually very good. Very good for a young 4-year-old, but I also enjoy it. Shout out Baby Shark. Yeah, see? You look what you guys are missing out on.
Yeah, I'm so glad my daughter's still into Bluey. I'm like, okay. Her friend was over today actually, and she's like, Bluey's for babies. My daughter turns and goes, you're a baby because Bluey's amazing.
Got him.
I was
Get
like,
out.
she got her good. Like, come
Get
on,
wrecked.
she's not wrong.
Imagine saying
wrecked.
Bluey's for babies.
Well, you know what? Her friend is trying to be cool and trying to like, because she went to this camp and I guess there was a lot of older kids. So like, she's like, oh, I like this and like that. And my daughter's like, yeah, I like Spider-Man and like Ninja Turtles and Bluey's cool.
She likes
Like,
smoking cigarettes.
I taught my kid,
That's
I'm like, you know what?
Drinking nips.
Drinking nips and smoking
I'm like,
cigs.
don't ever feel bad about what you watch and all that. I'm like, honey, I love watching cartoons and I'm old. So you know what? Stick with it. Don't try and feel like you're old and have to watch stuff that you don't like. Just do what you want.
Just be an adult
you.
and have an anime girl avatar as your PlayStation icon.
Yeah, it's definitely Waba.
My daughter poses like this, and I think it's my wife's and I's fault.
It's definitely your fault. What are you talking about? It's definitely your fault. She has probably watched how many animes?
I was not allowed to watch anime when
years?
she was learning to speak because my wife was like,
Speaking of
we don't want her to
faults,
learn Japanese.
She'd be like, oh.
Hasn't ESPN been making some faults?
Yes, they have. So here's the thing. I am a sports gambler. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a degenerate from a different time. I love to bet on sports. It is legal in the state of which I live in. So I am doing it legally. ESPN just basically they bought out Barstool's sports book, so they own a sports book. They own a betting company.
Mhm.
And that as a sports bettor, as a sports fan and a sports bettor, that worries me. For the biggest reason now, it benefits ESPN to put out misinformation, and then people bet big on whatever, and then it's wrong, and they just rake in a ton of money.
So they do that here in Canada. So the Score, which is Sportsnet, has the scorebet.ca.
Does ESPN
They call
are
it
they going to set the
score.ca.
lines now?
They call it the Score Bet, which is owned by the same people that own Sportsnet.
It makes no sense. It should be a
All
third
they
party.
do out here is advertise sports betting between everything. Like Connor McDavid, those are the ads he does. Austin Matthews, Pants Boy himself, all he does is betmgm.com ads.
Now the
Swing
Score and
bets-
ESPN, do they set the lines now?
Well,
I mean, they may set their own lines. I'm not sure.
So that's
They-
kind of they have access to, like you said, all the information. And now they can basically.
yeah,
But here's the thing, it's not just lines. It's not just lines. So I know you guys don't follow the NBA, but I do. So
Yeah.
Shams Charnia, I can never pronounce his last name. He is a very well respected. He's like he is probably like your Elliot Friedman of the NHL. I'm gonna say, like, everyone knows him. He's very well respected. So he also works for FanDuel. So he put a thing out during the draft that said, so Scoot Henderson is gaining serious momentum at number 2 with the Charlotte Hornets in tonight's NBA draft. That was the night of the draft. So everyone goes to FanDuel, bets big on Scoot Henderson going number 2 because you can make these bets. And guess what? He doesn't go number 2. So while I don't think Shams did that intentionally, like, FanDuel just made a ton of money on that because an NBA insider was like, hey, there is a ton of talk about this guy going number 2. You should, it sounds like it's going to happen. And yeah, he works for FanDuel. There is like there should be big concerns over misinformation. It could be, and again, someone from ESPN could say, oh, well, we know Connor Bedard's go number 1, but let's say he was going to go number 2. Well, Connor Bedard is now there's serious talk that Joe Schmo is going to go number 1, and people just bang on,
that
Joe.
Technically did happen because everybody kept saying Will Smith is going to move up. And I was like, as someone who's like watches hockey and knows a lot about the juniors and knows a lot about like the prospects, I was like, no, he's not.
Yeah.
There's no worry in the world that he is moving up to number 2. Please stop saying this. Why do they keep? And for like 2 days before the NHL draft, everybody is saying it, and I'm like, why do you guys keep saying it? You keep bringing up Will Smith's name. No, Will Smith is a wild card. No, he's just a project. No, he is not going number 2.
Yeah, and if
That's not happening.
And if it's some guy from the Score, Why keeps laughing because we keep saying number 2, and it's making him giggle.
You're like,
you think it'd be poo-poos?
Just like, you tell me Scooter didn't go number 2?
Unbelievable. But if someone from the Score, is like, hey, I'm hearing that Will Smith, we are hours away from the NHL draft. Will Smith is going to go number 2 to whoever, right? And then all of a sudden he says that, bang, cut to a commercial. It's like, go bet on Score.bets or whatever. And it's just like,
that's 100% what it is.
Yeah. And as a sports fan and sports bettor, the amount of people that hold the power in both the reporting and now the betting of it is pretty scary.
The
Slimy
sports radio here now in the morning, since this has happened. So the Fan 590 and TSN are the 1050 are the 2 biggest radio stations in the Toronto market, let alone Canada. And even so, if you listen to the NHL Network on Sirius Satellite Radio or in the US, it's broadcasting from the Fan 590. Like you're listening to the morning show from the Fan 590 when it talks about hockey and like Elliot Friedman show and such. They're doing sports betting odds.
Yeah,
on the show. That's all they do is talk sports betting odds and give their picks.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard for a sports fan and sports bettor separately, because sometimes they're not the same people, although a sports bettor is almost always a sports fan. But really, like, they can be 2 different subgroups now where you have to question everything that comes out from ESPN.
What's crazy to me about this is that they required Penn. So I looked into because I thought it was interesting with Barstool. So Penn spent 550 million on Barstool. So they paid that to, Portnoy, the board, whatever it is. And with like, I guess like the reputation, like, people just didn't really want to. So it wasn't like the regulators didn't want to issue him a like license. So the brand became actually a disservice to that relationship. So they sold him, the company, back their shares for $1. So they got nothing back. I think they said they expected to lose like 800 million on the deal.
Penn.
Penn is the gambling. God, what?
They're like a gambling sportsbook company, I believe.
So they helped create the Barstool Sportsbook, as well. So they basically bought that. So Barstool doesn't have a sportsbook anymore, I don't believe. Or if they do, it's
correct.
Different name. So they got him for $1. And the only thing is that if Barstool sells in the future, Penn gets 50% of the proceeds from any future sale. So Portnoy made all his money. He got the company back for basically nothing. And if he can just hold it until he dies and just pass it along. As long as it doesn't sell, Penn doesn't get any money. And it's very interesting that I can only imagine in that case what the deal with ESPN was. Like how much there is so much money in gambling, and I know we talked about it with stake and streaming and stuff like that and like Kick, but like for them to basically take an 800 million loss and be okay with it, like ESPN is in it. Well, they're gonna make it back.
Remember, ESPN is Disney, and Bob Iger.
Oh,
it is.
What?
ESPN's owned by Disney.
You didn't pay me back for that parlay you lost.
And Bob talking about he needed new revenue. Well, his new revenue, right?
Mm-hmm. There it is.
There you go. Bob Iger said he was either going to sell stuff off or he needed to find new revenue because the rumor was Apple was going to buy Disney. Well, Bob Iger just did one better. He bought a sports book.
We are just like we are like 2 months away from just a total monopoly of everything.
I can't wait to bet on Disney movies.
Yeah, what's the weekend box office?
Snow White.
What's the weekend box office over under for Snow White? Give me under 1.5 million. That movie's gonna tank.
That movie is gonna tank. That new Snow White.
They all tank because they're all garbage. Disney puts out garbage movies, and and I'm not even like talking about.
Agree there. I will say that they don't always because some of the
Red
movies
Panda was awesome.
I watched a lot of them. Some of them are great. Red Panda is phenomenal.
I said the remakes, by the way.
Yeah, you said movies. I thought you said movies. That's fine.
Actually, Peter Pan wasn't bad.
Peter Pan wasn't bad. Peter Pan wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, Woody's gonna fight Buzz in Toy Story 5. Lock it
in. They'll be like, Snow White over under 2.5 hours. Give me the under, kid. How many new songs did they add? 3. Give me the over.
How many minutes in until the first song?
Yeah,
it's like the anthem.
Yep. But yeah, so
you walk over into 2 minutes.
So don't trust any of ESPN's reporting, I guess, when it comes to now sports betting, because they should fix the line for themselves. The house always wins, my friends. So they'll be like, Jalen Hurts is injured against the Patriots, and then all of a sudden everyone bets big on whatever, and Jalen Hurts plays. Bet big on the Patriots, Jalen Hurts plays, crushes the Patriots because they're garbage, and then all of a sudden ESPN wins all this money.
Isn't every team in Boston like garbage now?
No, the Celtics aren't.
The Red Sox are terrible.
The Red Sox should be relocated.
At the beginning of the year, everybody was like, the Red Sox are going to be good. And I'm like,
no.
Yeah, as a Jays fan, I was sitting there going, so yeah, you're going to lose to us a lot. I don't know how you're going to be
and
good.
The Jays aren't that great. No, everyone thought the Jays were. Everyone thought the Orioles were going to be terrible, and they are winning the division.
One of the best teams in baseball.
But yeah, the Celtics are the only like potential championship contenders in the city. Nope. And everyone's like, the Bruins had. I gotta. What?
Gonna talk about it now.
Patrice? I don't think I'm ready yet.
All right. I'm not. Yes. I'm really not. I really think about it. I'm like, this is going to be a hard year watching hockey. It's going to be hard.
It's gonna be horrible.
Are you kidding me?
Don't do it, Waba. Don't do it. Eli Lucic. All Lucic gonna bash some guy's face.
Milan is gonna crack some skulls.
It's like when Ray Bork retired.
Oh,
it feels the same.
Ray Bork. Ray Bork was might be my favorite Boston Bruin of all time.
I think Bergeron is definitely my. Well, sorry,
There's only one.
probably a lot.
Oh yeah,
Bobby
Bobby
L.
L. I need to get a. Well, if you don't,
Bobby
reason
L
to go
was-
watch the video. Pez has a Bergeron signed jersey behind him, which is a
True.
nice piece. I need to get one of those.
Bobby L was Court's favorite player until Bobby L grounded him.
That's
And then he
seriously
said, "You know what, Dad? You're not my favorite Bruin anymore.
Number two.
You're number two. Take a back seat to Raymond Q. Bork.
Number 2 at the back seat to a Bam Bam.
Back of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Bobby, I need to make Bobby Lalonde Fight Club tee. How many fights or penalty minutes did Bobby L get?
Like
Don't
6.
make any money. That's not something you want to do. We've got to make Nintendo tees and Sony.
No,
ponies.
that yes. Well, yeah, we'll have actual ones, but I think having a Bobby L Fight Club shirt.
Hey, you want to
And
talk
then
about
the X-Boys. The X-Boys
Oh,
t-shirt.
the
The
X-Boys
oh.
is such a good one.
I needed.
Speaking of making money, all the nerds came out last weekend. And played Baldur's Gate 3. Over 800,000 people played this game at its peak. I believe it was 814,000 people at its peak, making it a top 10 Steam game of all time.
No,
At its
Pez, I know you're a big Baldur's Gate fan. I don't know much about it. Why should people be excited about this game for the uninitiated?
Okay.
He's like,
So
oh god, that's such a deep question. Where do I start?
it's a deep cut. All right, I'm going to start very surface level. There's no microtransactions. There's no DLC.
How am I supposed to win?
They're not the rumor is they're not even making an expansion for it. So this game, my friends, is done. That we know of. Number 2, it's still only $60, not a $70 game. 3, they are saying stories, probably about 70 to 80 hours for completion. So if you like that style of old school RPG, again, we're talking original Baldur's Gate, where it is much like a D&D campaign where you can roam around the world for free, but when you get into combat, it is turn-based. It is D&D 5e rule set to a point. They've made some changes that make sense, but it's a good way to learn D&D because it's not just books and books of text. A lot of it makes sense. It is a game that, even though it's a game that you can play over and over and over again, because there are different paths that you can take while trying to get to the same goal. I'm going to use the Druid Grove. It's one of the first places you go into. You can either help them, and there are like 4 different options you can do. You can help them and kill the goblins. You can help the druids and kill the refugee tieflings. You can kill the druids, or you can just like not deal with any of them and just walk away. So it's a game where you can play through. You can create multiple characters. There is something like 12 of the D&D player handbook classes, 31 subclasses. There are like 10 or 11 races. There's like 30 sub races. There's just a ton of content where you can try different things. You can roll different characters. It has 2 to 4 player online co-op, and it has 2 player local split screen. And when your players move away from each other in split screen, it splits, and one can go to the other side of the map if they wanted. There is no boundary. But much like a D&D game, if you split the party and someone else is in combat, you have to, if you're on the other side of the map, you don't get zoomed over. You have to actually go into combat. So I think it's great. For me, the single player there's some party management because you can have up to 3 other companions, but total there's like 5 that you can get in the game. So there's some party management, so you can create the parties you want. There's a ton of D&D lore style loot that you can get. I just think it's a well-made game. It is such a well-made game that you had developers from games like Diablo that says, well, this is an anomaly and it shouldn't be the expectation because it's not a live service game. It has Larian came out and said it has over like 170 hours of just cinematics that there are cinematics you may not see until your 3rd playthrough because the game is that big. Like right now, you have a chance going into Act 2 to take two paths. So like one of them is the Underdark, and then there's like a mountain pass. So if you take the mountain pass, you're not going into the Underdark. So you do that in a second playthrough to see what all that stuff is like. So it is just it gives you kind of that Mass Effect style feel when it comes to exploring and companions. It is very risque.
Tell us about the one thing that I think is on everyone's mind. And you know what it is.
The genitals?
No.
Because you can
no,
craft your own genitals. Much like Cyberpunk, you can turn nudity on or off. So much like Cyberpunk, you can turn nudity on and off. And there are different genitals that you can pick.
I did see that people who did not know that were streaming on Twitch and had a meltdown when they realized what they've done.
That annoys me because literally the first thing you do when you boot that game up is it says, do you want to turn nudity on or off? That's the first thing the game says.
Why would you turn it on?
Why would you turn it on?
Why would you turn it off?
Yeah, I mean it's authentic. It's the way that they wanted it to be played.
It's
okay, it's not weird.
Who are we to decide? Who are we to play God? We are not gods. We are just men.
We play God.
We are just men. We're just normal men.
Who is the romance options?
I never understand that. Can someone explain to me why that's
innocent men? I can't explain it. I think it's just the memes.
Everybody laughs at it. I'm like, what's so funny? I don't understand.
We're just innocent men.
I don't get it.
But 814,000 dorks came out over the weekend and played it, and it is so good. It's probably going to be my game of the year. I've been waiting for this game for 3 years. I think I've owned it with early access. They did early access right. I wish more companies were able to do it like them, but Larian is not a publicly traded company, so they don't have to answer to shareholders. Which is a big problem in games because and people ask like, hey, is Larian going to get bought out by Take-Two or whatever? And the CEO of Larian was like, nah, we're good. We don't want to do that. And also, if you don't want to play Baldur's Gate because of the D&D rules, they made two other great RPGs, Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2, which I definitely recommend for those out there, and you'll get it cheap. But they make great RPG games. And it's kind of a throwback to old games, and they're fun and they're engaging, and they're well voice acted and they're well written, and you can have relations with a bear if you want. I don't know. It's one of the things got all the people up in arms. I
see Twitch integration. I just went into a stream.
Yeah, and the Twitch integration is pretty cool because you can.
When you were playing Pez, that was very cool actually.
Yeah, so there's the Twitch integration does two things. One, your viewers can see your party. Two, if you turn it on, your viewers can actually choose the outcome of the dialogue options. So it's like a 1 minute poll, and the numbers are of the things are on the screen. It only works on PC, I believe, but you can choose. You can choose your
game's only on PC right now.
Well, I mean for the Twitch integration. But the I don't think it works on. No. I don't think the Twitch integration works on mobile. Is what I'm saying. You can't choose the dialogue option from mobile. It's not coming to Xbox yet, and it's not coming out to yet.
September
quote
8th,
unquote. And then September, the day Starfield comes out, September 6th.
6th, yeah, something like that.
It comes out for PS5. Yeah. My one complaint is it's not crossplay. That's my one complaint. So I'll be buying it on PS5 as well, so me and my PS5 dorky friends can play together. So I'm just gonna run a ton of characters, and I'm cool with it because I get to do my nerd stuff. I love it. I think it's a great game. I can't wait to play more of it. Honestly, I've been kind of having a withdrawal, starting the new job, been coming home and just hanging out with the fam for a bit and going to bed. So I'm excited to just get into it. And natively, don't have to do anything to it if you don't want to. It runs well on the Steam Deck. It's not great. It's not perfect. It's not buttery, but there is native controller support, and it'll run at a locked 30 frames per second pretty well. So there you go. Go pick it up.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag Larian, make me a partner.
True.
But yeah, I just love the dorks coming through. Apex Legends, get wrecked, dude. You're no longer in the top 10. You're now number 11 because no one likes you. Even now, there's 539,000 people playing it. And like
That's crazy.
they will be a very quick drop off because it's a single player, like story driven RPG. Like there's going to be a drop off, but I think with mod support and again the idea of creating multiple characters and doing different playthroughs, it's going to have some life to it. And
I mean, people still play Diablo 2 remastered.
Yeah,
years later.
And I think people will probably give them guff about not doing an expansion, but I get why you can't because
Guff.
the level, yeah, guff. That's why I said GUFF, guff. Give them guff because the
Goof.
level system in D&D. I know you guys aren't D&D nerds, but I'm gonna allow me, if you will, to nerd out for a minute. Once you hit level 13 in D&D, Court's leaving. Okay, bye, Court. Once you hit level 13 in D&D, you basically become a god.
Can I get a visual aid while you share?
Sure.
Relevant.
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the One Man Show. My name is Pizzelle56X, and today I'm going to talk to you about why Larian made a good decision on not making an expansion past level 12. When you hit level 13 in D&D, depending on your class, you have things like the Wish spell. The Wish spell, my friends, allows you to change one event of all time. So you could make a wish that says, "Hey, I wish this stupid thing wasn't in my eye," or "Hey, I wish that never happened in the first place." Okay, level 13 or 14 as a wizard, you get a spell called Simulacrum. What is Simulacrum, you ask? Well, Wobble Plays, let me answer.
Isn't that formula?
Simulacrum is not baby formula, but it is a spell where you create a carbon copy of yourself. Imagine having to code 4 people running around with 4 copies of themselves where they can't bring back hit points. I don't think they can heal hit points. They do not get spells back on a long rest or short rest. So it's like all this like crazy stuff. You basically become a god at level 13 and higher in D&D, and it would be almost impossible to code that correctly.
This is my visual aid.
Ooh, what is that?
Dungeons and Dragons.
It is like the dude, that's pretty sick. Is it like the starter kit? Holy smokes.
I think so. It's got
From
like a map and books.
From like 1980.
Yeah. 1991.
Dude, let's go.
So
that thing's pretty slick.
You would appreciate that if anyone. I don't know what to do with it yet. Maybe you'll see it around the holidays. Who knows? But
who knows? But yeah.
Gotta figure.
Yeah, if you have $60 kicking around, go play Baldur's Gate 3. It's pretty good. Court watched me play as a big orc man last Friday. I was a half orc barbarian. And then I watched Sean Capri play, and he had no idea what he was doing. It was great.
I was on mute the whole darn time. Sorry, I'm in a bit of pain.
Whew. That's all right. Yeah, I was watching Sean Capri play, and it was like watching baby's first steps. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he really needed your help.
He did, and then I left, and I said, I gotta go to my niece's birthday. Good luck.
The world will look up at and shout, "Save us," and Pez will look down and whisper, "No."
I'll say, you rolled a natural 1. That's bad, guys, if you didn't know that.
Well, a nat 1.
Yep, nat 1 is the worst roll you can have.
And the nat ice is the worst drink you could have. Unless
you're a freshman or sophomore in college.
True.
In which case, the more the better. So yeah, play Baldur's Gate. Or Call of Duty 3. Modern Warfare 3, which I guess is getting announced next week.
Why does nobody care about it?
Because it's a remake of a remake. Like, it's a remake. I don't know why Call of Duty was like, hey, we have no more ideas. Let's just remake Modern Warfare. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. That sounds great. So like, we had Modern Warfare 1, 2, we're gonna have 3. Like, they're just gonna go down the Modern Warfare train again. Like in the 4 years, we'll have like Call of Duty Advanced War, like Call of Duty. What was the
Advanced
other
Warfare
one?
is my favorite one. World at War was phenomenal. Advanced Warfare is my favorite Call of Duty of all time.
Was that the one with Jon Snow?
Yeah. It's
Jon
so good, dude.
I actually never played it because I was sick of Call of Duty at that time.
It's a space opera. No, it gave me Mass Effect vibes, obviously.
It's a rock opera
vibe. Yeah. I thought the story was very good, and I thought they tied it together well, and I thought the gameplay was fun.
There was Advanced Warfare, and then it went into what, like Black Ops?
Yeah.
So
Which
it'll be
one
like,
was I thought good?
so it'll be like, 6 years from now, we're gonna have Call of Duty like Blacker Ops or something like that's the blackest ops because they can't figure out names anymore. They just remake their old games.
50 Shades of Ops.
Oh, Waba, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
What is your expectation? I'm going completely off script, so I don't care. What is your expectation of the NHL 24 reveal trailer?
I have boots on the ground say no. So I don't know. I don't know anything. Last year there was a online event that I was actually able to attend. Now they are actually there are game changers who are in Vancouver right now, which is cool. They're taking pictures. They're hanging out with Darlene and Fantelli, which is neat. The trailer, I think crossplay is going to happen because crossplay exists by a workaround right now in eShul. Like,
Yes, it does. Which is wild.
Terrio figured it out somehow by like
Shout out
literal
Terrio.
happenstance. Terrio, I don't know how he figured it out, but he did. I don't actually know. I don't know what they're going to change. I don't think Bia Pro is going to get an overhaul because last year they didn't care about that mode at all. I don't think you're going to see a lot of changes in HUT. I think the gameplay will be tweaked, and I think it's going to be very similar. Because if they're doing it for 4 consoles again, which I'm assuming, I don't know, I think you have limitations. So I think we're going to see a very similar experience than we did last year. And that's with me having no information.
They got to drop last-gen consoles. They have to. We have to get out of this last-gen console thing. It's time. We are, 3 years into this generation?
Keep Madden, keep FIFA. NHL is a small community. Just, if you haven't bought a next gen now, that's on you and that's on God.
Yeah, get wrecked. Because you know what?
Better. Hey, you know what? Just make the game better.
Put it on PC. Put it on 5 people can play it.
Dude,
so
put
I
it
also
on PC.
A hot take. I think they're gonna do GM connected. Everyone's gonna freak out. Nobody's gonna use it.
Oh no! Everyone wants GM connected until it's week 3 and your buddy hasn't played for 2 weeks or whatever, and then you push it. You push the week along, and your friend's like, "I'm gonna play it tomorrow night." Blah, 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 blah. Just like it was originally. It was a bleep show originally.
I wonder what's gonna. I hope there's like more integration with like the female players too, because I feel like in HUT it wasn't super balanced. Like, granted, it was the first year. I think you had like maybe like in the early game, I think Pauline was like the only one that was like upgraded consistently.
Yeah.
Like the only player. And I wish also, in addition to like world players, because then you get like people from every country, like I wish they did something with I don't know what it's called now. The women's hockey league, because I know it was just bought or something. I think that'd be like super engaging, because then you could actually have cards that are based on
their
like
season,
actual games, instead of like whatever's happening in the worlds, which frankly, I'm not paying attention to check hockey at all.
Right. Unless
so I don't know. I'd like to see that too, because I think they made a big stride, and then I feel like they didn't do as much with that aspect as they could have. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be. I think crossplay is going to be the big thing, but I don't think people care about crossplay as much as they say they do.
Yeah, you'll get crossplay. I care about crossplay because actually no, I don't, because I'll get it for PlayStation. All my friends have it on PlayStation. So yeah, I don't care about that. I bet you'll get like we've redefined the like the tripping pass thing where it looks like a trip, but he actually is like what they call it, desperation passing or whatever.
I actually like that. That was a fun.
No, I like it too. They'll probably redefine that, and then maybe you'll get like one button deking or something crazy like that.
Just give me a Bobby L card.
There it is.
That's all I want.
Give us Bobby.
Get him in the game.
99. Give us a 99 Bobby L.
Also, here's my hot take for 24. If I use my name again, the Minutemen, and they strike my account, I'm going nuclear.
Are you gonna become a Madden streamer?
I'm gonna go to the Better Business Bureau. No.
Going the triple B's, baby.
I'm gonna write an angry letter, and that's probably about it. But
are you gonna use your official Wobble Plays letterhead?
I should mail them a letter.
On letterhead. Make it, if it's not on letterhead, anyone could have written it.
I'll put it on resume paper.
Yeah. Yes. Resume
and
paper.
I'll use my official. So I'm technically a lord. I own land in Ireland. So my wife is a lady. My daughter's a lady. So I'm official land and title owner. So I'll use
a lord in Ireland and you
Yes.
don't know anything about the people there, you were the reason the French invented guillotines. Truly.
I'm
I'm a lord of Ireland. What do you know about the people? Nothing. I know they have Sean Connery portraits in their airport.
I
And
own
Lagavulin is over there.
a 1 by 1 inch plot that I share with a farmer. It's like a lend lease, and that entitles me to being a landowner and a title owner of Ireland. I can use Lord for my name. Lord Wobble Plays.
He uses that 1 by 1 inch square foot just to keep his cow pies.
Where I have all my offshore accounts in Ireland. I'm a landowner.
That's what I hear. Cayman Islands, Ireland. That's where I hear you should squirrel your money away. Buy stock of potatoes, everybody.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. I didn't even realize that. I am a landowner in a country in which I know nothing. Oh, any other thoughts from folks? Court, Pez?
Oh, hot rumor that Waba told me earlier he's going to buy an ice cream stand in Dubai.
There's always money in the banana stand.
That I said that to the other day to my wife, and she was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Oh, I failed you. I failed you."
But folks, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for hanging out with us. Please make sure to follow us on youtube.com/3dadsandconsoles. Check us out on Twitter @3dadspod. We're going to have some more things coming up, as we alluded to earlier. And that's all we got. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.